if I'm gonna use this thing, it's gonna be for stuff that I can't do normally.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's your use
I've got
case.
I've got a Vita, I've got a Switch. So
You gotta tell us on the show what brought you over the finish line.
I,
Cesar, did you enjoy the Peach Beast?
Yeah, it wasn't too
That's the
bad.
one I have brought down here. The Peach Perfect. Friend of the show monster.
I gotta be morally responsible for tomorrow morning, so I can't do it.
Also true.
I got jury duty in the morning, so I can't show up with a hangover.
You do have jury duty. I forgot that.
Yeah, they give me two conflicting times on the piece of paper they print out to me. It's like, be there at 10:15, and I called the number to make sure I have to be there today. It's like, be there at 8:15. So I was like, what time?
Which one is it?
Yeah.
That's a broad window.
It's 2 hours from going to jail.
You're so scared of that.
do the early time. I mean, worst thing is you've got to.
Or hear me out, Brand. I can just do the middle one and just show up at 9:15. So I'm neither early and a little bit late.
What did I take? I think when I had jury duty, I took PSP or DS. It would have been that era. The last time I had it.
I think it was Vita at the time when I went and did it. It's been a long time. It was like 2014 when I
Your
went.
last one.
I had jury duty for a couple days. I don't know. I guess 3 years ago at this point, and I took my Vita. So
Yeah, mine's BS. I'm there for 3 months. So
When Brant, when you took your Vita, the Vita was irrelevant, and Cesar in 2014 when you took your Vita, it was already irrelevant as well.
mm-hmm. It's out the window outside of a few indie publishers.
Legacy console.
Hey man, I got both Fate Stay Night games on my Vita, so it's all I need.
What does Apple call their stuff? It's like, is it legacy device? Like they won't fix it after a certain point. They don't have parts available for it. Yeah. All right. Warzone. We don't have to lead with Warzone. I think we need to jump into news. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys played more than I have, so it's whatever y'all want to do.
It's just me fucking around.
I really played shit.
There we go.
Same.
2 games.
We're all working on projects.
I'm literally, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just watching anime like nonstop. So
Somebody was on YouTube, but they're not on there with us now. I don't know if it was Renee.
it's me. I was on there.
What happened?
It says there's 4 people on Twitch.
Yes.
And there is 1 person on YouTube on my end.
Okay,
So
that's good.
reloading the YouTube, there's still just 1 person, which should probably just be me.
That works.
And then there's 2 people on Twitch.
Oh, we're down to 2. We've killed enough time.
All my people are like these idiots. Oh, I was at the 4.
Yeah, I see 4.
guess they came back.
I see 4 as well.
They jumped on somewhere else and they were like, no, fuck that.
Since I was griping about the YouTube numbers, I'm out of here.
I don't care. Y'all do what y'all want. I got to go do bullshit tomorrow, so...
Oh, Buish is in the chat. Give me NOFODcast. You've got NOFODcast. We're here.
That's the thing is, you might be there for hours and hours, and the first day they might not even call you in there.
I gotta go, man. It's different for the grand jury thing. I have to go straight into the courtroom. I don't even go into the jury selection area.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm automatically in there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Bush and I had a coworker that was like, he went for one day and then they released him and said, we might call you back. Like, they didn't have to come back. Like, have you ever heard of that?
Sometimes, if you're very lucky.
Yeah, like, just be available. If we call you back, you need to be here.
They give you a phone number.
Your
It's like,
alternate.
you got to keep calling like whatever day before they want you to see if you got to show up.
He wasn't even that. Yeah, he was in the pool selection still. So, Cesar, how did you get straight put on this one?
Just breathing. Yeah, like I volunteered for it. Yeah, get out of here.
Oh, are you gonna try to get off of it? Are you gonna try to say something that in the in the preamble thing when they kick you off?
I hope, man. Yeah, right. We want me to do stand up and just maturing candidate. I think yes, they should all burn. I mean,
Yeah.
what do you want me to do?
That'll work.
Just come out, read off like a robot, and this guy has no emotions.
Yeah. You're just a stock NPC.
Yeah.
Throw this one back. He needs more seasoning.
I mean, the only thing is I got to tell him that I'm still going to the doctor for my issues. So as long as I don't interfere with that, that's the only thing I got going on. So
They're
'cause I got
immediately
my
gonna be
MRI.
like, strike the guy with the issues. We don't know what he's doing. We don't know what's happening
Man,
there.
long as I can make my MRI in 2 weeks, man, because that was a pain in the ass to schedule. That's all I care about, man. Because like the openings for an MRI was ridiculously like I was either in 2 weeks. It was either in the middle of May or I had to wait till like August. So I was like,
May it is. May, June, July. Y'all ready?
Why not?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 255 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast premier video game podcast. Tonight, the UK blocks Microsoft! Exclamation point. What is that? Besides Cesar trying to get me to play Warzone on PC. DK Legos announced. First look at the Twisted Metal TV series. Go Gadget video game, question mark. What could that be? It's a throwback to a very specific time, place, and universe. And I don't think we've ever gotten a game in this series. I don't believe. Everything back then had a... Alright, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. And we have your May PlayStation Essential Games. I'm sorry. I was going to go with like a Plus or a Platinum or whatever they call that top thing or the bottom thing. I'm one of your hosts, Richard Bergman, joined tonight by Newsmaster Brant McKee. Brant, how are you, sir?
What's up?
Brant
great.
has not made any recent big purchases. And moving on, we have Cesar Concepcion II, our resident page master and lore master.
I also have not made any big.
Damn, I was trying to drop back to that and get Cesar a big purchase.
I have to correct you on that
Ooh,
Inspector Gadget
has
thing.
been an
There's
Inspector Gadget
NES,
game.
There's NES, there's PS1.
A PS1 Inspector Gadget game?
PS1 is surprising, yeah.
PS2,
What?
some Game Boy
Also
Color, Game Boy Advance games. Yep.
So basically
I mean,
everything from like early 2000s.
Yeah, but that PS2 one has to be the movie tie-in, right? One of those has to be movie tie-in.
And Matthew Broderick? I don't remember any sort of...
No, all of them.
Or the cartoon tie-ins.
All of
Oh, God,
them
why am I
look
looking at this?
very cartoon. Let me try and see this. Oh gosh, it's like super zoomed for some reason.
I mean
Inspector Gadget,
GeForce got a game. How the hell is Inspector Gadget get a game for doing
Mad Robot Invasion.
Oh.
Nope, that's Cartoon Gadget.
Video game. There's a PS1 Panic in the Maze.
Yep.
It's $8. It's a Ubisoft game. What is this?
Add it to your stream bullshit night.
Oh my god, that should be a stream bullshit night with Austin Powers Pinball.
And Inspector Gadget, just fucking license IP night.
Alright, the Inspector Gadget PS2 game looks like movie tie-in. I'm thinking.
No, it's cartoon.
It's cartoon as well?
It's cartoon.
Damn.
Just looked at it. All of them
This is exciting.
have the Cartoon Gadget on it.
This is exciting.
None of them have Matthew Broderick on it, right?
Oh, we're missing the Matthew. Maybe he's an unlockable skin. Like when you get to that.
With the weird teeth, like the chiclet teeth.
Oh, you finally unlocked Matthew Broderick skin. Like, no, turn it off.
It's like a human piranha just going around. That's all I remember from that movie, man. I was like, the teeth.
Chiclet teeth. Did they make him look that bad?
Look it up. Look up
why
Inspector
are we
Gadget
doing
teeth.
this?
It's noticeable. It's like the only thing.
Oh,
it's gonna take like 2 seconds. It's not like you have to go in deep lore to find
Inspector
the teeth bad.
Gadget teeth.
Like you're going on the 5th page of Google searches to find the bad teeth. It should be out there.
Toothpaste
Like
scene.
immediately.
Inspector Gadget's teeth are a danger to both himself and those around him. His teeth are sharp and
Yeah.
pointy, and they often get caught on things.
Yeah.
Dun, dun,
I know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, that
Oh
doesn't
my
look right. That
gosh.
doesn't look right. It looks like an action figure's teeth, right? It's just all one. It's all one piece on the top and the bottom.
I mean, the T1000 had better teeth. Shit.
We had fun at this movie. I remember when it came out.
Yeah, I remember that one. What was the other one? George of the Jungle is another good one too. When they're doing all those animated films from Disney.
What was the other one?
George of the Jungle.
George of the Jungle was
Brendan
good.
Fraser.
I enjoyed George
Mhm.
of the Jungle.
They're like, we're just gonna remake all these 50s and 60s cartoon shows and 70s and 80s into movies. So
Matthew Broderick.
I wonder if he forgot he played Inspector Gadget. I wonder if he goes into interviews and doesn't remember he played it himself. So oh yeah, I did do that.
Andy Dick's in this?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Was it? Who's the villain? It was like
Rupert Everett
or something
yeah.
like that. Yeah. I know too much from this fucking movie. I don't remember fucking what prime numbers are, but I remember who's in this fucking movie. So
Andy Dick. Richard Keel's in there? Holy shit.
Yeah. They pay money for these actors, man.
Wow.
We got the Happy Meal toys. I remember collecting those.
Yeah.
What was it? What was the other ones that came out with? Like there was the live action Underdog, which was horrible.
Well, I don't remember that one. I do remember.
Nobody.
The Jungle was excellent. Very campy. Which the cartoon was. It was very. The humor was spot on. Damn, bring us a new Inspector Gadget. Well, I guess we're getting a.
Yeah. Watch out for that.
Is that the first? Is that the lead? Is that the first? No, it's the stupid Microsoft shit.
Someone got blocked.
All right, how do we summarize this the best way possible and not do a deep dive into this?
I mean, literally, the CMA just said that Microsoft would have too much of a hold on cloud gaming.
Cloud gaming
still went through. Yeah, that's the only thing they're blocked it for was cloud gaming.
No one actually is.
Which is the main thing that they really wanted it for. Was like they wanted the mobile side and to boost their cloud stuff. And
they basically listed Google as an example. I guess if Google Stadia was still in there, they would have been like, "Oh, it's fine." But since they didn't want them to have a chokehold as being the only main provider in the market right now.
Microsoft will forever be fighting like antitrust mind space or whatever that term is. Like they're free of that, or they had to break off stuff, but it's like people are always after them. Was it Slack went after them to get Teams kicked out of Office? Like Teams doesn't come in Office anymore because Slack was after them. Like this can't just come on Windows. Wow. It can't just come.
Yeah. I mean, it's because it would force everybody's like it's built in. Everybody's going to use it.
Right, so that would become the standard. So they can't include that with Brett shaking his head. Like they'll never escape. They'll never escape that cloud of the antitrust stuff and the monopoly thing. They'll never get away from it.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the whole sum up to the thing, and I don't think is the remedial things they have on there still the same that they asked for, which is either I know one was to give up Activision, B was a give up the merger altogether, and A was what they give up the mobile aspect. I can't remember what it was exactly.
I'm looking at Bobby Kotick's response to everything.
Yeah, because we care what he really thinks.
Really care about this dude.
I mean, he wants to get paid, so he's going to say whatever he needs to say. So
he gets to sail off into the sunset when this is done.
So they're going to appeal, but the funny thing is, I don't know if it's mentioned in this article, but you saw that the UK government is trying to give the CMA even more power to block deals like this.
Really?
To rein in tech, because tech has been kind of going crazy all over the place with Meta and all that kind of stuff. We're just grabbing up stuff, and now they're coming back like, oh, we made a mistake and let all this happen. Like, how did we get here? So I think I read an article recently that the UK is trying to give the CMA more power to regulate big tech companies. I think it's about to pass too. It's a bill they're about to pass over there in Parliament. So it's a lot of people saying it wasn't a big deal because the EU is probably the next biggest one, but they're trying to make it into a big deal. So we'll see what happens with the EU, because the CMA was supposed to pass through with no issues, and then you saw what happened. Yeah. And so the EU one might be the same thing. They might came back and say, hey, the cloud thing might be a concern. They don't give a fuck about Call of Duty like Sony was talking about. They said the cloud aspect of that deal is what concerns them. So I mean, that's basically what it boils down to.
And I guess Sony's not presenting anything, being like, we got that Gaikai company, like we're good. It's still a competitive space. There's no sort of thing like that.
I mean, it's not even cloud-based on the Gaikai. I mean, it's cloud-based, but they're running individual PS3s to run those games. So, I mean, it's a data center just running consoles. It's the same thing Microsoft's doing right now. It's like, that's why they don't have that many consoles out there. They're running, for their cloud gaming's all Xbox
connecting to a system.
Yeah, so.
Imagine that. I want to see that console form. I want to look down that hallway and see what it looks like. Be pretty wicked.
I mean, it'd be interesting to see if there's an actual physical console. I'm sure it's just a server rack with the specs in there. Yeah. I mean, that's the smartest way of doing it. So
looks like a bunch of dev systems like.
Yeah, it's different, like weirdly made server blades that fit in there, just with all the hardware.
So this part of me, I'm so fucking tired of this thing, and I hope it just goes away. But I mean, I don't care at this point who gets it and doesn't. Now it's looking like 2024, because they got to appeal it. They still got to mess with the FTC trying to block it, and so I don't know. I mean, it passed in what? It just passed in the Ukraine, which was weird.
Yeah.
And passed in Japan a couple weeks back ago. Passed in Saudi Arabia a couple weeks back. So Brazil. Somebody was making a comment like, I don't believe in half these supposedly corrupt nations passing it, but
supposedly corrupt nations.
I'm not a expert in nations to even make that comment, but you know.
Right. But Saudi government decisions aren't like the thing we need to be basing our moral compass off of.
That, and you know, some people have issues with Brazil,
yeah.
You know, Venezuela, and you know, certain other nations. So
yeah, I'm surprised Brazil. They've got those trade tariffs. They still have master systems and stuff. This might have opened the door for them to have some sort of...
What's funny is that like the PS5s are ridiculously overpriced. So the number one console in Brazil is Microsoft, because they have an actual factory that produces.
You told us that at one point. Yeah, they had manufacturing there.
They got around the tariffs because they put a factory
in-house. Isn't Mexico similar, where they had a heavy either Xbox or PlayStation fan base due to either development or taxation or imports or something?
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know off the top of my head if it isn't. I just know Brazil's always been a big one because they charge the shit out of it. Because I think somebody was like, there's like $1,000 to get a PS5 or something like that. That's like twice the price. So
I saw no games when I went on my trip. I was hunting around for just to see anything, like people hooked, playing something. I saw DSs on the ship, like DSs, multiples. I mean, wow, this is great.
100 million of them.
Yeah,
they got to be somewhere.
That's true. Also true. All right, so that saga goes on. I feel like we don't need to do, every time there's an update, we don't need to do deep dives on their drama back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean, the only interesting thing is where this cookie actually crumbles and what it actually affects. Because I think we're getting the best out of Call of Duty. We're playing that for free on whatever we want to play it on. So there's no complaints there.
Oh, God. And before I forget, Brandon, did you see the comment they made about Call of Duty on Switch?
Yeah.
They were like, we don't believe it can run on Switch. That's what the CMA said. It's like, you don't have it on there now, so what do you think you can make it last for 10 years? They said, we don't think you can run on that hardware. They basically called out the bluff.
I mean, it was a stupid claim, and you haven't had anything to back it up since the Wii U, so why would you claim that you can get one of these things running, unless it's like the mobile version?
With parity, with no features cut off. That's what they said.
With parity. That's crazy.
I thought that was the funniest thing out there. They called him out on that. And that's bullshit. It's like what was it? What was that? That gift from Anchorman? I don't believe you.
I don't believe you.
Yeah. Start smoking a cigarette.
Oh, good stuff. Let's move on to a happier story. This comes from VideoGamesChronicle.com and Tom Ivan. LEGO has announced 4 Donkey Kong expansion sets. Donkey, Cranky, Diddy, Funky, Dixie, and Rambi are coming this summer. Oh, I didn't see the Rambi one. Set for release on August 1st, the 4 expansion sets are Donkey Kong's Treehouse, Diddy Kong's Minecart Ride. Might have to get that one. Dixie Kong's Jungle Jam, and Rambi the Rhino. They'll feature DK, Cranky Kong, Diddy Kong, Funky Kong, Dixie Kong. The sets and new characters can also interact with the existing LEGO Mario, Luigi, and Peach figures. Donkey Kong's...
Does it have a live action stop and go? I can rebuild it.
Yeah, stop go station. Wasn't you telling me you can like roll right back in the entrance and it drops you off at the...
Yeah. Yeah. It takes it right at the very end, the last barrel at the very end.
The last stop and go.
I remember me and my brother, we didn't read about it online. We just got pissed because we couldn't beat that level and just ran backwards.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Damn. It's a good game. I'm still a Donkey Kong Country defender. Donkey Kong's Treehouse expansion set costs $60 and has 555 pieces. That's a very exclusive number. It includes Cranky Kong and lets players ride on DK's back using Lego Mario, Luigi, or Peach. It's weird. Does he do that in the movie? Is that what we're doing, the ride on Donkey Kong thing? Has he ever done that before? They're 2 separate entities. It's not like Yoshi. You don't like ride Donkey Kong. I don't understand. Priced at $109.99, Diddy Kong's Minecart Ride expansion set, never mind amount, includes 1,157 pieces and includes Diddy Kong, a rideable minecart, a plane from Funky Kong's shop, I'm back in, plus a mole miner, our favorite enemy. I'd rather have a Kremling. The 174-piece Dixie Kong's Jungle Jam expansion set, which costs $26.99, is a music theme set which lets players perform with Dixie Kong and Squawks the Parrot. Priced at $26.99, the 106-piece Rambi the Rhino expansion set lets players ride the Rhino figure, which emits sound effects when it walks or charges into the included stackable rock elements. Oh, he looks good. They did a good job with these. Yeah, Squawks looks good. I'm checking these out now for the first time. I still don't see the minecart one. Yeah, Rambi looks dope. Brant, didn't you see me a Rambi thing?
I did. Yeah.
It was like a Instagram thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
These Mario Lego sets, I know I've talked about these over the years. These are really well done. And the family enjoys collecting these and building them. Okay, the minecart looks really good. Funky looks good. I bet they won't do Candy Kong in the year of our Lord 2023. She was a bit voluptuous for that title.
Just like they had to redo Tina from Crash Bandicoot. Yeah. Or Tana.
Tone down a little bit. All right, look forward to those this summer. The article goes on to note, and I think that's also a prominent point, the Kong family played a prominent role in the recently released Super Mario Bros. Movie. According to latest reports, its third weekend was Universal's highest ever in the U.S., and it's well on course to generate over $1 billion globally. I believe it did that
there was a tweet today telling that it reached $1 billion.
That's crazy. When are we going to go, peeps? We got to pick a time.
Gotta go soon.
I don't know, man. It's going to be streamed
soon. It'll be in the dollar movie, but... They still got the dollar movie? Let's go to the dollar movie. When you get up out of the seat's like coming with you. You're like, oh, God, what is that?
You're stuck to
I don't remember eating that.
Velcroed.
Or the armrest is soaked in Sprite. You're like, holy shit. Total Sprite over here. All right, Brant, tell me about this next one. Before we get to the Inspector Gadget story, which I'm more excited for.
Yeah, I'll just go over this real quick because it's just a little update because we knew there was a Twisted Metal TV series coming.
I had forgotten this was a thing.
It has now been confirmed that it plans to stream via Peacock in the U.S. beginning on July 27th.
That's soon.
And this, of course, comes before the video game revival that's supposed to be done by Sony's Fire Sprite studio.
Is that confirmed?
I believe so.
Okay. That's not the one they just signed, right? That we talked about last week? No, they're making an unannounced IP, right?
I don't
know.
I don't even remember.
One of the online ones.
But it is literally, there was announcement of this teaser mid last week, and then the next day they dropped the teaser, and it is literally like, I don't know, 10, 12 seconds. It doesn't give you much. It shows the show's star, which is Anthony Mackie.
Great actor.
In his vehicle, and he pops in some music, which is Len's Steal My Sunshine, which apt for 90s, but a little out of place in the Twisted Metal world. That was always, like some Rob Zombie or something like that.
They had great soundtracks.
But it just kind of shows, it zooms out as he drives down the road. There's missiles flying. You see other cars driving around. There's a bunch of plumes of smoke and fire all around in the surrounding landscapes. And then it ends with a quick shot of a ice cream truck with the back open, and it goes inside, and we see our first look at Sweet Tooth. And
you got to have Sweet Tooth, I guess. Right.
As far as a teaser goes, I mean, like I said, it's not much to go on, but it doesn't look bad, at least in concept.
I mean, it looks campy, which that game can be sometimes. So.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And you knew we were going to see Sweet Tooth, right? What is anything Twisted Metal without the ice cream truck and the clown and all that?
I'm interested to see what they do with it. I don't know if they'll go with the whole kind of supernatural element that was with the original games, with the whole Calypso and all that putting on the games, or if it's just going to be it's a contest held every year that the craziest
Mortal
drivers
Kombat.
Mortal Kombat style.
Where it's like, oh, here's a tournament for humanity.
I'll be interested to see who all shows up, if they're similar characters to the video game. Obviously, I would think there's going to be some. I would think that they'd have to do Axel. I mean, Axel's like He's right up there with like right under Sweet Tooth. You think
he's got
iconic,
the two
Twisted
turbine
Metal
things.
Yeah,
like
he's
the
the dude. Yeah, he's the dude like stretched out, and he's in the like giant 2-wheel thing.
He's the axle.
Yep,
makes sense. He's on the cover. What was that? Twisted Metal 2.
Yeah.
Speaking of Twisted Metal 2, did you ever figure out what that former coworker of ours, that crazy game he was trying to describe?
No, he retired, and I never. I think I got through like half the list of original PS1 titles looking for a specific thing that he had mentioned, and
like the dog on the log swimming down the creek or something.
There was a couple things that he was talking about, and it like nothing made sense.
They're probably like bad 3DO games or some awful
Who
CDI
knows?
experience, some crazy thing that.
It's some bad acid trip is what it sounded like.
That too.
Sounds like a Bubsy game on the Jaguar CD.
Oh, there's an Inspector Gadget Racing for Game Boy Advance. Some of these Gadget games look awful. Awful.
Oh yeah, the first thing I looked up, one of the things was like how awful one of these games was. So
the Super Nintendo games made by Hudson Soft, that one might be decent.
That one might be good then.
Ugh, garbage streams. Watch me have the Inspector Gadget for Super Nintendo. I legit didn't know this game existed though. I gotta look that one up later.
But speaking of Inspector Gadget,
yes,
we're getting a brand new game published by Microids.
Look at that. It looks good.
And Microids is publishing it, and the developer is SmartTel Games.
Oof, what are they made?
I couldn't tell you offhand. Inspector Gadget, Mad Time Party for PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC via Steam will launch this fall. It says it's a new party game. One of 4 players will be immerse you in the iconic Inspector Gadget.
Is it iconic? He's pretty much an idiot.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
I just clicked that link in the Gamatsu article, and SmartTel Games released My Baby for PlayStation 4, PC, and Mac in November 2020. Whew.
Anything else? Or is that their claim to fame?
There you go, Richard. I saw it on here. The guy in the chat. He's like, it says it's gonna be hard to top the SNES game.
The Inspector Gadget. Damn, it's probably some crazy hidden gem nobody's played on Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. You know it's true when one rando comes in there. Like,
yeah. That one's a good one. Let me delete my Inspector Gadget teeth search, and I can actually look at the see what this looks like on Super Nintendo.
Is chiclet
it's
teeth.
Bizarre.
Let's see.
The art style, I mean, it kind of looks like a mesh between like the OG Inspector Gadget and some kind of like 3D-esque kind of character models.
I don't know.
The Super Nintendo game looks amazing.
Looks really good.
Look at the animation, like when he's like spinning in midair.
Did you guys find it? Find something good?
Oh
yeah,
nice.
It's like
it looks good.
It's like Castlevania-esque at some point. He's in a castle.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Trying to find the claw.
He's kicking him with his leg. His robot
Claw.
leg is going out. A spring leg.
I'm looking at the part where it says his message will self-destruct.
All right, that looks good. No more distraction. Ooh, shit. Inspector Gadget, let's go. Bring him back. Good find on the news, Brant. From the developer of My Baby. Coming off the hot on the heels of the success of 2020's My Baby.
My Baby.
SmartTel Games.
Don't worry that the Xbox will be spared from this.
Oh, they're French. Travesty. The Xbox will be spared.
Yes.
Yeah, it's coming to everything but Xbox.
What'd I say their name was?
Did I close
Mad
it?
Time Party. SmartTel Games.
SmartTel.
Yeah, I want to see what else they made. In Montpellier. That doesn't help. It's just a bunch of videos.
Oh, no.
Well, while you look at that, we have our monthly PlayStation Plus, our PlayStation Essential games
Yeah, we do.
that have been announced. We are getting Grid Legends for PS4, PS5. Chivalry 2, PS4, PS5. And Descenders for PS4. These are your like regular PlayStation Plus games that you're used to getting.
Okay, so SmartTail has apparently they've worked with Microids a pretty good bit here. They made Smurfs Kart, Marsupialami, Hoob Adventure,
Ooh.
My Universe Green Adventure, which is a farm sim, Gear Club Unlimited, which was like a racing series. I know it was on Switch at some point. My Baby simulation family game. It's creepy looking. Gear Club. Yeah, that's their biggest ones there. Dungeon Crawler, Dungeon Kingdom, Sign of the Moon. Never heard of this. They kind of look like top tier mobile games, if that makes sense. Like the good, polished. Yeah, this is a PC game.
This kind of looks like it's going to be, I don't know, semi-exploratory, but also like party games. So a mix between Mario Party or WarioWare, like mini game stuff. So,
oh boy, they're testing the waters on a potential Inspector Gadget video game cinematic universe coming back. Yeah, revival.
There you go.
And then Digital Eclipse can give us the collection with the Game Boy games and all that stuff on there. Super Nintendo one.
Oh god, all about the Super Nintendo one. That one's gonna be separate, and it's gonna be like DLC. Is like 20
bucks. The add-on. Grid Legends, Chivalry 2, and Descenders. That's not a bad list. Is that it?
No.
Oh, we do the
and all available May 2nd.
That's right. We do the half list one part of the month, and then the half list the other part of the month.
Yeah.
Everything else comes to the 14th and 15th or something.
Yeah, and that's your classics and all that.
Debatable.
True. So that brings up a good point. They could be putting a lot more in there.
What's left classic wise on PS4 that they can just fart out and that avoids them from doing real work? So
have all the PS2 games come across, or is it just like a small bit of them?
A few of them.
I think a majority of them are on that. Were available day one. So
right, just because it is a native PS4 thing as well.
They don't run well on PS5. I'll tell you that much.
That's weird. It's so bizarre.
I'm assuming they're not going to put any more PS2 games until they fix that issue. So
I mean, they run okay, but there's some stuff like I've seen people playing Okage that's on there, and that thing has some like weird bugs and visual glitches and stuff.
That thing runs weird on PS4.
Brandon, because it's a purple disc. You can't. The purple discs,
I beat Okage back in the day. It's actually a good RPG.
Very unique art style. I don't think there's been nothing like that. Speaking of devices that do play PS2 games really well.
Going to Games Played here?
Yeah, drop it on us, Brant.
No, go
something
ahead.
happened. Something momentous happened in the NOFODcast community. The people need to know. They need to be made aware.
Actually, Brent, I think you probably get the biggest one. You might want to go first because me's gonna bow out. But what we just played today,
then I'll touch on the stuff that I messed with.
Okay, so aside from playing some Warzone with
y'all, how'd that go?
Pretty good.
Mostly bad.
Yeah, we had a 5th place, a 3rd place, another 5th, I think,
5th-ish,
and then we had this one run where like we got set up really good. We came out of we did our normal stuff. We went in the waterworks and got all our stuff.
Pulled the canal.
Went to the caves.
Cesar goes to the vault. Yeah, opens the vault for us.
Opened the vault.
I always go to the vault.
And then we came out and hugged the beach, because actually where we came out was on the beach side, and there's some rocks that come up in the water, and the 3 of us posted up on those, where a friend of the show, Russell, was actually on the land,
like creeping on that seawall.
Yeah, keep it creeping on the wall, and he was popping at people and pointing people out. We were taking pot shots at other people, but everybody was like running along the other side of that wall. And it eventually got to the point where people were dropping behind us in the water, and we had to take them down. And then the gas was on us. Russell went down, and we stormed the beach trying to get up to that wall.
Kind of did. We were kind of forced up there.
And and that's where everybody else was. You both went over the wall first. I think, Richard, you went down.
I took one with me because I looked up in the top. Yeah. I only get really like fired up on Warzone and like really pushing when I see 2 or 3 teams left and we know where people are at. So it's like, okay, they're on the other side of this wall. We got to get on the other side of this wall. And I took one down with me, and then somebody was like crawling around on the ground next to me. I was like, we lost. We're going to freaking lose this thing.
Yeah, because you went down. You took the one person down. He was right in front of you. And then as I come over the wall, I saw Cesar down on the ground. I shoot the enemy that was on the ground, and I start panning and looking. And my at this point, the gas is coming up. My gas mask is starting to crack. So everything's a little hazy. I start taking shots, and I immediately go down to like 2 plates. So I just immediately aim up from where I think I'm getting shot at out of this bush, and I just start shooting. And then the whole thing, like, just, you know, how it does. All your HUD and everything goes away. I'm like, oh shit, what happened? Did I die? And then it war zone.
Victory.
So we
amazing.
We cleaned up that one. That one was a adrenaline pumping.
Did you take a clip of that one?
Yeah, I believe I did. I think I got the last 30 seconds or so. So I have to look at that.
That one was so much fun, man. We fought hard for that one. Sometimes we kind of luck into a win somehow. We fought for that one. We had to storm that beach and go up to the better defended positions. But we need to remember that rock. When that circle goes out on that side, we need to remember that rock on that backside.
Because getting up there on the surf, and you've got the waves kind of up on you, so you're actually somewhat hidden if you're like on the backside of it.
There's a crevice on that right side, like as you're on the eastern side of that rock, there's like a crevice that I was holding down looking back behind us where that person freaking dropped in and started murdering us from. Yeah. And Russell was floating in, like Russell dropped down there and got some weapons, I think, but I don't know if he made it that far up the beach after that.
No.
That was a good ass round.
I'll
just touch on ours from last night because we ran a bunch last night. It was myself, Cesar, friend of the show Jeremy, and friend of the show Dale. And we had a bunch of, seems like close, like 3rd, 5th, those same. We got hosed by direction, we weren't in the right place, that sort of thing. Or all of a sudden the gas is closing in and we're backed into this corner. But we did have a run. It was like 2 rounds after Dale dropped, I think. Dale was having trouble with his internet, so he's like, I'm tired of fighting this, I'm out of here. So we played trios. And the circle was moving around. We're in the cave still. We're in the canal. And the circle's moving around down there. And it's doing the, you can see where it's headed. And I see 2 teams is left. I see it's just us. And I'm like, damn, I have a mortar strike. I gotta send y'all the video. I'll try to like predict where that circle's going to go from underneath. And I just shot it to the top of the cave. And then I'm like running to where that new spot's going to be. And my reticle starts lighting up for hits. I'm like, oh god! And then we get the victory, and I'm like, yes! I got him from underneath the cave. He got this dude. That was a rush. We quit on that one, didn't we, Cesar? That was it. Yeah, we got to win. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, we quit on that last one because I was already 1 in the morning.
Yeah, it was 1-something by then.
I think everybody in the team was like, all right, 1 more.
It's always that case, isn't it? Like 1 more. Let's go through 1 more and get here.
Final game, season 12.
Season 12. Take 17.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all I touched on with the other Warzone play. Young Brant, what's your big announcement for the NOFODcast community?
Well, first, I've been playing Resident Evil still.
Resident Evil 4. Made it sound like you're about to leave the show or something.
Real quick. I think last week I was on chapter 9. I had just finished up chapter 11, right before we got on the Warzone. This game is so damn good. There's parts that like I really dread redoing of Resident Evil 4 because there are those just absolute bullshit
escort missions and the ones with like different criteria you have to do and.
Well, I think it was chapter 9 last week where there's that part and it's like that black water, and you've got that portion right before you get out of it that you've got to turn the wheel and then you've got to push Ashley up on this ledge, and she's got to run around and do 2 more wheels while there's like people coming to get her from each side, and there's people on the ground level trying to kill you. So that part was bullshit. And do it a couple times and fail, and I'm like, all right, take a break, and then when I come back to it, I'll do it first try. I had another one of those.
Always good to step away sometimes.
Yeah, I had another one of those in chapter 10, where you get to, I talked about last week, where you have those blind enemies that have like the giant like Wolverine claws on their hands that all go by sound. You walk into a room that's relatively close quarters. Like it's literally like a rectangular shaped room, and there's only a small hallway on both your left and your right that just kind of come around in a U right back into the room. And there's 2 of those enemies in there. And until you...
cell.
And that's the thing, is there's also regular enemies. So you can't just creep around because there's, all these guys with scythes and throwing axes and all this crap coming at you too. And until you kill the 2 blind enemies, they keep spawning. So, but there's like these bells in the corners of the rooms that you can shoot to distract the blind guys, and they'll go over there and attack them and destroy them.
You talked about some of these guys last week.
Yeah, which leaves their back exposed, which is, their weak point. So you just have to figure out how to time it. But that was one of those where I walked into that room and I'd kill like the first 3 enemies, and then those guys come off the walls, and then there's more, regular enemies that show up, and I kept doing stuff and just kept getting like stuck in a corner by those guys just flailing around. So I had to step away and came back today, and again, just like, all right, pop. All right, get them in the corner, dead. So
it's crazy how that works sometimes. More often than not.
Why was I having so much trouble? But I think it's like you start having trouble with it and then you get frustrated. So
and I feel like we get stuck in like the muscle memory of, okay, I know this is supposed to work. Why is it not working? And you fail over and over with the way that you've been trying to push through that control, and then you step away and it gives you a blank slate and you come back. Even if you know what to do and you didn't change your strategy, it's like, okay, now it just works, right? Like your brain and your hands cooperate more than they had before.
Before that part, there was actually the portion where you actually have to play as Ashley. And I know from the original game, I was kind of dreading this portion. It's not that bad in this game. It's actually... It's
a lot of running and zigging and zagging. That's it.
It's just a lot of evading. It's pretty interesting. The way they have that like little puzzle and everything you have to do in there set up. And then after that, she gets taken away again. And the part that I just finished was the part where Luis is your second. Luis. And that part is fun as hell.
Y'all talk about him. I don't remember him being around in the story that long. Is he in this one longer than the GameCube one?
They give him more importance.
They give him a little bit more.
He was so minor in that GameCube one. It's just like, okay, he just kind of weaves into the story here and there. I don't know how prominent he is in this one, but
he's like a helper for a certain character in that game.
That's cool.
But in this part, I mean, there's like there's a lot with him. I don't want to give it away because Richard.
Yeah. It comes towards the end. He's in more.
I'd really want you to play this part. It's.
I've got the game. I think I've got it installed, as a matter of fact, on the PS5.
But yeah, you do some fun stuff with him, and then you basically have a cage match, a tag team cage match almost, which is an interesting fight. But not as challenging as I thought it was going to be.
The game's not impossible, man. I mean, the hardest issue I've had as I go through the game is that the ammo does come a little bit more sparse as you go along. I mean, it seems plentiful in the beginning, but I'm like, I've been having.
Is this the Resident Evil of Resident Evil?
5 now, so
I go through waves. Like I'll go through parts, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sparse on ammo. I don't know how I'm gonna make it through this next part. And then by the time I get there to the end of it, I'm like, I got so much fucking ammo. Like I keep resources and gunpowder on me, and I've just bought the 3rd case upgrade. I bought the RPG. I didn't use it yet.
You need the larger one so that it fits that long thing, right?
Yeah. Well, the RPG is not very big.
Oh,
actually.
Okay.
But the from what I understand, the RPG, the way it works in this game is you get basically 1 shot per chapter. So you can use it on whatever you want. But I would, try and
yeah,
save
that's
it
your
for
oh
the boss.
shit weapon.
So I've got it for emergency uses. I got all the way to the end of chapter 11 and never used it. So
no emergency cases have been found.
I thought about I thought about using it on the boss that I ran into to try and cut that down, since you asked me to join on some Warzone, but I was in a fight where you can only use knives. So
I remember that one. If it's the same one, I remember that one.
Which actually didn't take very long. So, but yeah, that's an amazing game. Now, what you were alluding to is both of you have been using a new piece of hardware, the Steam Deck. Richard, you talked about
Steam Deck on Steam Deck on Steam Deck.
I guess you've had it for, but I guess you've had it for a couple weeks now.
Yeah.
At this point,
I would say a month.
2-3.
Yep.
So, and Cesar's had his for much longer.
Oh, so it'll be a year in like another week or so.
You were like the second wave, right?
Mm-hmm. Like mine was like May or something like that.
So y'all have both been trying to, Cesar's like, this thing's great, and both me and you were like, I don't know, it's good bit of money, this, that, and the other. Then you jumped on and you were able to convince your CFO.
I wonder what it was going to come down to. Oh, even last week you were talking about Steam Deck alternate devices, so I was.
And that's the thing is, like, by Monday I was telling y'all about this other thing that I'm like, yeah, I think I found my Steam Deck killer alternate device, and then I started looking at all these different devices, Ambernick and Odin, and all these different things, and yeah, I think
Brant, I'm so proud of you, man, because I've done that every generation where like, this is a sure thing, this is the most thing, and I look at it, I was like, nah, let me go find a better or stronger alternative, and it's like, there's always a better one out there, but then it never turns out the way you want to, and I've been burned so many times, I'm like, nah,
it's almost like
one thing.
And traditionally, like for the past 20 years, they've gone the underpower route, but it's almost like a Nintendo piece of hardware, right? It just works. Or an Apple piece of hardware. It just works. It's meant for the Steam OS. There's all the extra stuff you can do to it. Like everything I throw it, I'll talk about some of the things that I got it running, but it just works. It's great.
But yes, Monday I was talking about something that I figured was going to be like my alternative to a Steam Deck or, brand new Switch or whatever. And then Thursday, I sent y'all
confirmation.
The confirmation
like what
email
happened? What happened in these
of me
3
buying
days?
a Steam Deck. I got deep into looking at what the Steam Deck can do, and the fact that it has so much community support, so much
all these
official
eyes and
support,
this knowledge, and everybody like driving this thing forward.
Yeah, and people even talking about, I was having this specific problem with this specific thing, and I looked it up, and turns out, hey, somebody else had this exact same problem, and it, they even had like a script of code that I could literally just copy paste and fix my issue. So it came down to that. I mean, the Steam Deck I've handled both of your devices.
You've had our decks in your hands?
Yes, I've had Cesar's deck in my hands. I've had your deck in my hands, and I can't wait to wrap my hands around my own deck.
I prepared you for this moment.
I was hoping that you already have it in your hands. It's crazy. It hasn't been there yet.
No, I checked it Saturday, and it said
delivering to Gabe Noel so I can drive it.
That'd be cool.
It's yeah, that would be cool. But it said like processing, and then it said packaged, and it was at that packaged point. And I'm like, well, if I check later Saturday, and if it's still at that, if it hasn't been picked up by carrier, then it's probably not going to get picked up by Monday. So, and I did, and it hadn't. So, it'll probably be sometime this week that I'll get it. But I mean, I've already got right next to me a screen protector. I've got a dock coming. I've got a
which
micro
dock did you
SD
go
card,
with?
and
I'm up in the
some third party.
Docks. So the big, you've probably seen all this, but like the big Steam Deck accessory, like the Ubisoft of the Steam Deck that jumped in there to support it is it's like JSAW, JSAUX, and they make a lot of stuff, cases and the transparent backs. It has like the see-through plastic of the 90s type thing. So send me the dock that you got, or give it a go and let me know.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like all these third-party docks, most people say, honestly, the regular Steam dock is great, but it's freaking $80. And the third-party docks seem to work just as well, seem to have all the same functionality. There was some kind of glitch with... I'm trying to remember what it was.
So Cesar had mentioned the dock he was using a couple months back, and I have access to a similar one, and I can confirm that it worked flawlessly. I just plugged the USB-C in, and I was playing on the monitor and everything, and it just worked. Ethernet connection and everything.
See, that's the one thing is the one thread I was reading. It said something about there was some kind of weird issue with, and I can't remember offhand what it was. But it was some really small, minuscule issue with a third-party dock that they were having issues with. But I'm sure, judging by how older the thread was, it's probably a non-issue now, because even these third-party places have updates for the docks and everything. So, but yeah, yes. I'm just waiting to.
Can't wait.
Get it in my hands. I've already got a lot of emulation and different things set up and ready.
You pushed me to do that over the past week or so, because that's one of the reasons I got one. We were talking about all these things that were accessible, and I hadn't done it yet, and I'm like, man, Brant's about to get one, and I haven't even fiddled around with this. I've been playing shit that I've Skyrim and Wolfenstein New Order, and just things that I've already had access to for so long. So I actually messed around with it, and I went the Cesar route, is what I've referred to it as. Instead of setting all that stuff up beforehand, I ran through that Emu Deck setup, and then I started putting the BIOS in the right folder. It's 7-zip for Linux. It's called Arc. So you'll run Arc to unzip your ISOs and things like that. And I think, Brant, it'll be, and there's no right or wrong way to do it, right? It's just contrasting ways that we're going about it. I've got tons of devices in the room next to me that have entire libraries, right? It's got every Super Nintendo game, every Nintendo 64 game, have access to all of those. And I feel like if I have all of that at one time, I won't play anything. It'll just be sitting there to be there, right? So I put some BIOS on there, and then I just threw a couple games on there to not have this massive library, but just kind of tinker around with some things and see how they run, right? And I messed around with... Let me run down this list, because I won't elaborate on everything. Legend of Zelda, the Twilight Princess. I put that on there for the GameCube, the Dolphin emulator. Final Fantasy, the PSP port. We talked about that last week. So I was like, oh yeah, you picked the PSP one. Virtua Tennis, of course, the Dreamcast one, which plays with some weird graphical glitches when you're loading it. But outside of that, it is fine, and you do not need a Dreamcast BIOS, by the way. Final Fantasy X International. This is the version that the HD remaster was based off of, but it doesn't have all the different character models and things like that. Cesar, when you're playing PS2, do you have a quick menu for your emulator? Have you figured out? Because start and select on the Steam Deck takes you all the way out, and I accidentally did that and killed the. I had to go through all the Tidus stuff.
My quick menu is tied to the touchpads in the front.
Okay, I need to check that then.
Because once I touch the touchpad, it brings up like a circle menu where I need to check that out. Do things.
Because I tried, I put a CRT filter on it, and it's like it's not right. It's like a dot matrix Game Boy type thing almost. So it looks better, but it's not. I know what CRT gaming looks like, and it's not that one.
The one I got on mine, and
you showed me and it's solid. And it's funny, Cesar. Like, I remember when we first messed around with emulators 10 plus years ago, we were tinkering with this stuff. Those CRT filters were garbage. You could tell it was like, this is not right. This is not what this looked like. And they've come a long way. Like, they look way better. So that's the PS2 one. The PSP one, I booted up Shadow of the Colossus and got that up and going, and it played seemingly way better than it did on PS2 hardware. And I've got like 4x anti-aliasing and all sorts of extra stuff on it, because it's like a super, obviously it's a super PS2. And then Time Splitters 2, I was kind of messing around with that opening level. And I remember that's before like the standardized 2-stick shooter. Like, I've got to figure out, because it doesn't work right. It's one of them's inverted, and then one of them like strafes. This is not how this is. Yeah, this is not how this is supposed to go. So I'll probably look up some control thing for that. Played some more Skyrim. I'm headed to the next part of the story. No major things. I've got distracted by a couple dungeons like on the way to this next spot. So the mission I'm on is actually taking me to an Elder Scroll. I think I took over your games played, Brant, because we were talking Steam Deck. Yeah, that was it.
No, that was it.
So I'm actually headed to get one of the aforementioned Elder Scrolls. I've played all these Elder Scrolls games and never seen an Elder Scroll, so I'm headed apparently in that direction. But I had a weird thing with it today, right? Like, I thought it was plugged in last night, and I'm guessing the AC adapter just wasn't plugged in, because when I fired it up, it said battery low, and it'll tell you in the bottom, like, battery 6%, and then immediately it was like, battery 3%. I'm like, oh, shit. So I went and plugged it in. I made sure it was powered up and plugged in all the way. And then when I came down here to start the show, and I brought it so I wouldn't forget what I was playing, when I turned it on, it was like Steam Deck battery dead, rebooting Steam OS or something. I'm like, what? I just charged the whole thing. But when it ran through that reboot, I guess it was stuck in that reboot. When it ran through that, I was good. So it's right back up, and it's like 99%. I think that's it for me. Tinkering with the emulation, Twilight Princess runs perfectly. I'm very curious to see how the Wii U one does.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the titles I would definitely
like to see how that works.
Ready to go.
I did go. I don't think I elaborated on the Cesar route, but I was directly installing the backups of my physical titles directly to the Steam Deck, not to a memory card and then to the Steam Deck. Yeah. So just to elaborate, I do own all these games.
I think we all.
Time Splitters is one of those that I think I have on all three of those.
I have the purple Time Splitters disc.
It is a purple disc, isn't it? It's funny, I was listening to, it was another podcast, but so many people play Time Splitters 2 on GameCube. And I don't know if that's because that was like the first person shooter for GameCube, or the 4 controller ports, or the map editor, like why people picked that one, but that's what we played.
A lot of the GameCube stuff we played with 4 players was just easier. It was either that or Xbox, because it was built right in. You have to do a fucking
no multi-taps, and we had 4 GameCube controllers for Smash and everything else. Mm-hmm. God, so many fun times.
What are you talking about? This is so convenient.
I like how you have that right there at your desk.
Mm-hmm.
Just happen to have it in a.
At least it's smaller than the fucking bullshit.
The boomerang,
the boomerang.
But I think the PS1 one works on all PS1 systems, right? That one, they started spacing out the difference, the width between the PS2 memory card slot and the controller slot. So you had like incompatible. I remember returning a bunch of those because they weren't compatible throughout my retail years. I think that's it for me. Tinker around with that stuff and starting up Final Fantasy X again.
Yeah, I haven't really played much this week, unfortunately, for me. So I've been.
Did anybody dabble with Advance Wars?
So, other than it came in.
I booted it up.
Is there an update? Okay.
No.
Nintendo updates are usually pretty small.
It's 1.0 still. Yeah.
I got you.
1.0 still.
Beta version.
Or something that's probably sitting in the warehouse for a year. That was almost borderline ET. Atari.
Man, that would have been crazy. That would have been something.
But yeah, nothing for me.
Just Call of Duty with us. I'm glad you got when you got us. Yeah.
Wrap it out.
Glad you got on Call of Duty with us when we were able to fit that in.
Yeah, with your
doing again.
Weird alcoholic monster beverages that don't taste like alcohol. It just tastes like monster drinks.
It's very dangerous, sir.
I was buzzing last night. I was like, I'll stop after one and a half. Yeah. Because it tastes like energy drink, man. There's no like cold, like the Mountain Dew ones. You can taste the alcohol, so you're like, okay, I know my body knows, like, okay, I can only have a certain amount of these. But that monster thing tastes like fucking straight monster, man.
They're delicious and not nutritious.
And my body was very confused because my body was like, oh, this is a monster drink. Why do I feel this way? Because I'm sitting there like feeling weird. I'm like, oh god,
no caffeine. There's no caffeine in them.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I want to touch on something else, but I can't remember. I don't think there was anything.
No, I mean you did your Steam Deck stuff. Brian did a Steam Deck. His Resident Evil. He was playing before then.
Evil Dead came in. So that's our Evil Dead. Evil West. So I've installed Evil West for PS5. So I think we need to do a co-op stream at some point this week.
You're further along than me. I gotta throw my disc in there.
So whenever that works for you, I think that'd be a good time to jump on there. Brand, if you want to jump in the party with us and talk amongst ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have an open party chat and just jump in and jump out.
That'd be a good time. Maybe look forward to that this week. I need to get back to streaming stuff. I gotta at least pop in that Austin Powers pinball. I think that'd be a good time.
Yeah, I finally configured my fucking Elgato to this new PC, and I was fucking around with some Switch games earlier. Got that working, so I can get back to it because I got a lot of weird ass
fired up
Japanese games that I've downloaded. They're exclusive to that region.
Yeah, fired
it's
up.
Not over here at all.
Did you play any more? Go ahead.
Even the office chair racer that I showed the other day.
Did you play any more Final Fantasy?
Shit was crazy.
No,
I didn't play anything this week. I mean, I when I had time, it was messing with that, and I think oddly enough, they have a game in that weird portal in there with all those like the office chair racing. There's like a Final Fantasy game in there too. It's like Final something. I forgot what it's called. I have to look at it again. But like you literally start with a character with a human face, and then you go up and talk to the king, and he just joins your team. And you talk to the princess, he joins your team, and that's how you just start recruiting characters. I'm like, how the king's like, save this world, and he just randomly joined my team. I'm like, what the
every NPC you talk to, they're with you.
Every NPC is joining your team, man. I'm like,
that's crazy.
I'm laughing the whole time. I'm like,
what is that? It's so crazy.
It's all in that weird bundle that I was playing with the office chair racers. Like, it's just random games based off other games. Like, they have another one that's like a Yu-Gi-Oh ripoff that's called a Shadowverse ripoff, what is called Jadowverse or something like that. It's interesting, man. I just went through a couple of those.
Random madness.
That, but I'll stream it, man. It looks pretty good. So.
That's awesome.
I was like, let me stop because I'd rather stream and get reactions live because a lot of this stuff I don't.
It sounds crazy.
Know what I'm playing. Yeah, it's random. It was on the fucking Nintendo Indie Worlds that they have over there. An official Nintendo Indie World.
Wow.
Man.
All right, is that it for us? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week, and we will catch you next week. Bye.
See you.
Adios.